surely will have found you the amazing things you see. The cars they built, the wonders work, how can such things be? A little science, a little magic, a little science, a little.
Welcome to
Here's Where
Things Get
Weird.
starring me, Harmony.
And me, Jackie.
We're here. It's a stormy day.
It is a stormy day.
And I have a thrilling topic for us to get into.
I have some inclination of what it's about.
Yes. I don't have super in-depth notes on this one, so it will probably be a little bit on the shorter side, but I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll feel it out. On this day, as we are recording, the day after this horridly in dire straits country, the U.S., has celebrated its Independence Day,
It's 250th.
I will be discussing American clowns in Canada.
We are the American clowns, people.
Okay. So a clown and a firefighter walk into a brothel.
I've heard this one.
This is no joking matter.
This is not a laughing matter. This is serious.
This is
Oh, did
that
you
was
see
scary.
that?
I saw that.
That was a flash of lightning.
Ooh.
Clowns in a brothel and firefighters. Yeah.
A clown and a firefighter walk into a brothel.
Okay.
Just let that simmer for a second. The Toronto Clown Riot of 1855
Riot.
is all too real, and it helped to completely rebuild and rebalance the corrupt power structure of Toronto in the 1800s.
What do you mean the corrupt power structure?
We will get into
You mean
it.
like the actual government?
Yes.
Clowns and firefighters, clowns riot, and then Toronto restructures its government.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, in that order.
That's the episode. The end. Thanks
Yeah.
for watching.
Boom hosted.
Boom host.
Okay, I'm gonna read a passage here that's just direct copy and paste from Wikipedia.
Okay.
And we can kind of talk about it. So, Toronto is Canada's largest city. I didn't know that. It's also presently the fourth largest city in North America.
I did not know that. That must mean Toronto's way bigger than I thought.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I
Well, that
didn't-
makes sense.
It's giant. I had no idea it was so big.
Toronto's like just right over like near the Great Lakes, isn't it?
Yes, it's on Lake Ontario. It's up by New York. It was founded as the town of York and the capital of Upper Canada in 1793 after the Mississaugas. It's kind of spelled like Mississippi, but with Augas at the end. So Mississaugas. That's the indigenous group there. They sold the land to the British. It was purchased by the British in the Toronto Purchase in 1793. For over 12,000 years, Indigenous people have lived in the Toronto area. So it has
That's
a
a
long
long
history.
time.
Yes.
Wait, how long?
12,000 years.
12,000? Is that
Uh-huh.
right?
According to Wikipedia. The ancestors of the Huron-Wendat, that's a hyphenated name, were the first known groups to establish agricultural villages in the area about 1.6 thousand years ago.
Jeez. That is a really old community.
Very old. In the 17th century, the Toronto Carrying Place Trail along the Humber River became a strategic site for controlling the fur trade farther north. The Seneca people established a village of about 2,000 people known as Tia Ayagon along the trail. The French set up trading posts in the area as part of the fur trade. In 1751, they abandoned this fort, though, as the British conquered French North America in the 7 Years' War. There's a lot happening in this area in the 17th and 18th centuries. Lots of war and trading and all kinds of stuff going on.
Sure. Yeah, it's a wild time.
By the 1790s, the British began to settle Toronto and built the garrison, which became Fort York, at the entrance to Toronto Harbor. The Americans, as in us guys down here.
I hate that we do that.
I
It's
know.
like the Americans, and it's like, yeah, which America? North America, South America, Central America. But like also Canadians are Americans. It's
Yes.
weird that we're like Mexicans are Americans. Why are we the Americans?
I don't know. They don't know what else to call
We're
us.
US citizens. That's it. That's it.
too much to say.
How is that to US
The U.S.
citizens?
citizens. Okay.
Clowns are scary.
Raise
though.
your hand if you're afraid of clowns.
I'm not afraid of clowns.
I'm raising my hand.
I'm afraid they might take my money at the carnival or something. But
Clowns as a concept, I'm not one of those people who has like a clown phobia, but I don't prefer them. Like
No.
I it's just not
there are a lot of really good clowns, and there are a lot of really shitty people that are clowns.
Yeah.
Because it's like it depends, right? Are you like with the circus? Are you like an
Are you
actual
with
professional?
the circus?
Are you
or
actually?
against
Are you
it?
just no? Are you some guy who's just showing up at the circus in clown paint and pretending to be part of the
Do you
circus?
remember in 2016 when people were dressing as clowns and terrorizing their communities?
That shit pisses me off.
What?
You're gonna dress like a clown and like chase people. Like people have phobias and stuff like that. You're gonna give somebody a heart attack. That's mean.
It was horribly mean, and it was right at the
Terribly
time.
mean.
It was right at the time that we had like the 2016 election, which traumatizing.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff, and
The biggest clown of them all.
and nothing ever got better. That was the best that it's been in the last 10 years.
It really has gotten
That's
progressively
fucked
worse.
up.
And we had a little breath of air, and then and now it's.
When
getting
was the
worse
breath of
again.
air? The Americans attacked the village and garrison during the War of 1812. In the decades after the war, tensions between the colony's conservative elite, the family compact, that's what they were called, and the democratic reformers grew and culminated in the rebellions of 1837 to 1838. That's a lot of Canadian history. I don't have a lot of basis for most of that. I doubt you do either.
No.
I do know the War of 1812 at least. So this rebellion period between 1837 and 1838 ultimately was considered a failure. And it gave rise to a powerful group that would ultimately be the dominating political and social group in the area for many decades to come.
Okay.
And this group was called the Orange Order. You ever heard of them?
No, but it right off the bat sounds like Clockwork Orange.
Clownwork Orange.
The Orange Order, that sounds like some occult stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
It sounds very ominous. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Orange Order for a minute.
Why orange?
That's the color of their little flag. The Loyal Orange Association in Canada is their Canadian branch. It's originally based in Ireland. It's a Protestant fraternal organization. The first chapter of it started in Canada in the 1800s. It started in Ireland in 1795. So it wasn't that old before it was brought over to Canada. And it grew pretty quickly. There were some benefits to it, right? It ended up playing a really big part in Canadian history. It had a lot of very prominent members, including 4 of their prime ministers. Most of the people in the Orange Order, we call them Orange Men, were working class. They were people who were business owners. They're
kind of like the Lions Club or something.
Yeah,
They like where they're just trying to help their community out and better themselves.
There were some undertones of like supremacy and elitism.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You always got those guys creeping in.
Yeah. But there were also some other layers of like mutual aid and different like this, just a sense of security, being part of a community. They had like health support. Like they were interconnected, right? They had a big network of people who had their backs because they had their back in return. Business owners would have steady clientele coming in from their local lodge or their local chapter of Orange Men. Many business deals and relationships were created at their local lodge. It got so entrenched in the Toronto culture that the Orange Order started to have some very like strong political and social power in that area. Yeah.
Especially if like it's really popular, a bunch of people are joining, it's expanding really rapidly.
So they had people from all walks of life. They essentially held control of the volunteer militia and a lot of the local government.
Okay, that's where things go south fast.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of like what you see here with like the Proud Boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get your
It's
own
bad
little
news.
militia going. Like this is well documented. That's like how you slide into fascism really fast.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there was some really, especially with the undertones of like the weird supremacy and like elitism stuff going on. Like it was, I don't know. It was a weird combination. The people of Toronto at the time were like very aware of like the weird power imbalance happening.
Mm-hmm.
They held control of a lot of the local government too, and that gave them a level of legal immunity in addition to like having this militia. And it ultimately ensured that the group as a whole maintained power over the city. I have a Charles Dickens quote on this that I actually want you to read.
Why is Charles Dickens always weighing in on everything? That's what I want to know. He was in the
It's its
last
own-
episode too. He was talking about the sewer system, and he's like,
he gets around.
what a horrible. He gets around.
If there's one thing Charles Dickens is going to do, it's going to be right about some bullshit.
He's always, but in Canada, what's he doing in Canada?
I don't know.
Go.
Read the quote.
Oh, okay. It is a matter of deep regret that political differences should have run high in this place and led to most discreditable and disgraceful results. It is not long since guns were discharged from a window in this town at the successful candidates in an election, and the coachman of one of them was actually shot in the body, though not dangerously wounded. But one man was killed on the same occasion, and from the very window whence he received his death, the very flag which shielded his murderer, not only in commission of the crime, but from the consequences, was displayed again on the occasion of the public ceremony performed by the Governor General, to which I have just adverted. Of all the colors in the rainbow, there is but one which could be so employed. I need not say that the flag was orange. Charles Dickens commenting on the 1841 Toronto Orange violence in American Notes for General Circulation, 1842.
As described by Charles Dickens, who needs to insert himself in everything. As we can see by this quote, the Orange Order was like really up to some hinky shit. Like they would do basically whatever they wanted, knowing that they could get away with it.
Yeah, and it's like, bam, here's the flag. That's my get out of jail free ticket.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what we see going on.
Yeah, very reminiscent of a lot of what's happening here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
We'll step away from the Orange Order for now. We're going to come back to the Clown Riot. Okay. So what about the clowns and the firefighters? How do these things connect at all?
Well, they were at a brothel, so it seems pretty obvious to me.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I was kidding. I have absolutely no clue.
I want to hear this theory. In the early to mid 1800s, as the very much frontier town still at this time of Toronto, the population nearly tripled within like 30 years.
That is rapid growth.
It was very rapid growth. Along with this, where they were building railways and roads, and it brought in a lot of commerce. It brought in a lot of immigrants. There were many blue-collar workers, people who were building these railroads and dealing with the industries that were taking things on and off of these trains, etc. And as we know, the Orange Men, of course, were present. And a lot of their workers were blue collar and involved in all of these different trades. In 1855, there were more than 150 taverns in the city, despite the population at that time being only 40,000. A population of 40,000 it's a city, but it's small. 150 taverns? That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's a lot for that population.
Mm-hmm, that feels very reminiscent of like growing up in Billings, Montana.
I think it's a window into the culture and the dynamic of the area at the time.
Yeah.
In 1855, the same time frame that this was the demographic, the American traveling circus group S.B. Howe's Star Troop Menagerie and Circus. Wild name, by the way.
That sounds pretty cool. Honestly.
That sounds pretty sweet. They rolled into Toronto for a weekend-long series of performances. It was a pretty short little stint for them. They rolled in, they set up shop, and at the end of their first night of performing, the circus clowns decided to unwind and relax, as many folks in this area do, at one of the local brothels. In this case, it was the home of Mary Ann Armstrong, which was a brothel that was frequented by one of Toronto's many volunteer fire companies. As these two groups, the clowns and the firefighters, interacted in the brothel, they were competing, of course, for the attention of the women, and all hell broke loose.
Does it say who got more attention?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it was the clowns.
It was probably the clowns.
It was probably the clowns. They get to go on stage.
S.B. Howes was a guy, and he was considered a pioneer of the circus industry. He introduced elephants to circus acts, and
So he's an asshole.
and he brought lion cubs. I believe he was the first to bring lion cubs overseas too.
So he's like a major asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He built one of the largest traveling circuses ever seen in the Americas, North and South. And this was like prime time for circuses, the 1850s. Come on. While circuses typically operated as at a designated venue, like an arena or whatever, they had like a permanent structure.
Yep.
That's not how the SB House traveling Star Troop Menagerie operated.
They kind of like made their own.
They would pick up and move, much like a carnival. A big reason for that was many cities in the US were still developing. They didn't have very large populations, and they were also typically spaced pretty far apart. So there wasn't really a good enough, consistent enough audience for them to set up shop in any one particular area. It was more lucrative for them and a better situation for them to travel from town to town and do their performances.
This is like not super uncommon, but it sounds like they were very successful.
Yeah, it was a very workable business model for them, I guess. Because of the traveling nature, this meant that all of the props, the animals, and the big top tent had to all be handled and torn down and toted from town to town. This was all done by the performers. So when the clowns were done clowning for the day, they were taming lions, getting them back in the cages. They were taking down the tents. They were doing all of this manual labor. You know, they were performers, but they were also very hardworking, rough and tumble day laborers.
Again, not that uncommon for that business. Like that's how that business operates. Yeah.
Sure. But they were very accustomed to a rough and transient lifestyle. They were nobody to fuck with. Like they were tough guys, despite their silly exterior. Similarly, the men who made up the many different Toronto fire services were also strong and gritty and very motivated. Toronto did not have an established city fire service at the time. The way that Toronto had their fire services set up was really interesting. I don't know a whole lot about fire history in terms of like firefighters and stuff. I don't know how it started here in the US either.
I know it was pretty shady here in the US. You know, there's a history of firefighting being very like, oh, we only help people we like, and usually those people are white.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. So in Toronto, there were independent companies that would pop up. Essentially, this meant that they were constantly in competition with each other. They would hear of a fire, and 4 or 5 different companies would all rush to the scene, and whoever made it there first
got paid.
What peacocked around about it was all like, suck it. Yeah. Beat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just
in your face while this like family is burning to death and like in the background.
Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes.
That's nuts.
They would literally rush to the scene in hopes that they beat out others and make it there first. The typical fire truck quote of the day was pulled by hand. So, you know, I had like handles,
like a rickshaw or what?
Kind of. It had like 4 wheels, but you know, they would hand pull it, and it was heavy, obviously. It had like the big hose and ladder and all of that.
Yeah.
And the water pumps that they used to put out the fire were also pumped by hand. So this was a very labor-intensive job. They were quite literally often in a foot race against other guys while pulling these big, heavy machines and then pumping the water as fast as they can to
after
put it
you
out.
Just got done like jogging halfway across town with this huge bucket.
So as you can imagine,
it's a brawl.
It's a brawl. There's a lot of adrenaline, and it's mostly younger, able-bodied men. So these fire services also doubled as social clubs.
Of course they did.
And members were often referred to as rowdies due to their rough around the edges nature. So, if there was a fire, the rowdies would start coming.
Yeah.
These firemen were not only competitive, but they were obviously no stranger to danger and the thankless nature of the job. I feel like more modern firefighters, a lot of people are like, we love our firefighters.
Yeah, it's definitely firefighting these days. It's not a thankless job. People are very appreciative of firefighters.
So the hook and ladder company responded to a fire. I don't know why I don't have the year of this. This was not the same night as the brothel. This was a different night, but the same company. So the hook and ladder company responded to a fire on nearby Church Street. Another competing fire company pulled up at the same time. Rather than attending to the fire, the two companies entered an all-out physical brawl right there in front of the burning building. So they were just punching each other. Nobody was working on putting out the fire. And over 50 Toronto police constables showed up in kind of a weak effort to break up the fight. They showed up and they were like, stop, guys. But they weren't really invested in it because many of the police constables were orange men and many of the firefighters were orange men. There was kind of that weird power dynamic showing up here. So as these two fire companies are fighting, the police are there, the two groups of firemen actually stop fighting each other and instead band together to fight the cops, which I think is kind of funny.
But they're all still orange men?
They're not all orange men. There are a few orange men sprinkled in on each side.
Gotcha. There must have been more orange men that were firefighters than cops, I guess.
Maybe.
That's pretty funny, though.
So they're like, oh, fuck this. Let's fight these fucking guys instead.
Hey, you know what's good about all this, though?
Mm.
Nobody's tending to the house that's just burning to the ground.
Yeah. It burned to the ground.
Yep.
No fires were put out that day.
Absolutely unsurprised. Why are people thankless? These people are heroes.
It's like nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah.
This incident resulted in one of Toronto's many 1800s riots. There were dozens of riots in the 1800s.
Well, if this shit's happening all the time, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. This particular one was called the Firemen's Riot.
Do they have a name for all of them?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't. I was going to make a list of all of these different riots, but I forgot to write it down. But there are some.
There's like a history book somewhere that just is like all these riots.
Yeah. Now imagine both of these groups, these rowdies, these firemen, and these rough and tumble clowns that are also like lion tamers. They come together.
Yeah.
You put them together under one roof, competing for the attention of women, and add in alcohol on top of that.
Yeah, the firefighters are like, dude, we just got done beating up cops. You're not going to scare us.
Yeah, and again, that was on a different day.
I know,
but yes.
You got to space out your beatings, otherwise you get fatigued.
This is exactly what happened on July 12th, 1855. The exact start of the fight is somewhat disputed.
Oh, I bet everybody's got something to say.
They do. Some people say one of the clowns was cutting in line. Other people say that one of the clowns was running their mouth too much. It seems like a lot of people say that,
hey, buddy, you stepped on my shoe. Well, what do you want? It's a size
Squeak,
18.
squeak.
Yeah. Squeak, squeak.
Others say that a fireman named Fraser knocked the hat off of one of the clowns named Meyer.
Hold on. Were the clowns in, do you know, were they just like dudes getting off work, or were they like still fully clowned out?
I want to believe in my heart of hearts that they were still in their clown outfits, but I think that they were regular street clothes.
The image I see in my mind is a dude who's got like smudged face paint, and he's like, he's still got some of his clown attire on, but maybe like changed into comfortable shoes,
No, he's got to keep those shoes.
He's like
on.
too tired to fully get out of it completely.
He unbuttoned one of the top pom-pom buttons on his overalls. The shoes are off, sitting next to him on the stool.
Mm-hmm.
The nose is off.
He's using
Everything
it as a
else
shot
is still
glass.
on. Yeah. He's using it as a sponge. He's like soaking up the alcohol.
But clowns are gross.
I think they were in street clothes.
I'm just kidding. Actually, yeah, some clowns are gross. There's a lot of like really professional clowns out there too.
There is a strong revival of
There's
the
a whole
clown
like
industry
university.
being done by like Gen Z and millennials. There are lots of Gen Z and millennial clowns, and I
Yeah.
support it.
I know some millennial clowns that are actually like proper clowns, like went to school for it,
Yeah,
which is super cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I think like as a performing art, that's pretty dope.
It's fun. It's cool.
It's a lot better than like, you know, just dressing up as a clown and scaring people at night,
Totally.
you know.
Yeah.
Classless.
So others say that a fireman named Fraser knocked the hat off of one of the clowns named Meyer and refused to pick it back up. And that was the inciting factor. That seems to be the most likely scenario of the ones that people say. The clowns and the firefighters really go at it for a while. They're smacking the crap out of each other. Nobody gets too injured. The clowns did come out on top that night. 2 of the rowdies from the Hook and Ladder Company.
Everything you're
pretty badly
saying
beaten.
just sounds so sexual.
I mean,
it could be a whole different story. I'm just
those
saying.
clowns were getting rowdy. You know?
I know the books you read. Somebody's written about it.
Give me the clown and firefighter fan fiction.
Let's see it, folks.
This is the real Romeo and Juliet that I want. I want this forbidden romance
The
between a clown
forbidden
and a firefighter.
Romeo and Juliet of a firefighter.
Enemies to lovers.
I'll write it.
1855.
Harm knows. I'll write it.
Traveling clown and rowdy firefighter.
I'll do this. I'll write this.
We have to.
We have to. Okay, so not too much damage, but the clowns kind of get the upper hand. And
Yep, 2 of the rowdies came out pretty badly beaten.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So those were the firefighters.
How badly beaten? Like,
I don't know. I don't have details.
Bad enough it was worth a note, I guess.
Bad enough that it was worth a note. This was just round 1, though, because the Orange Order had to involve themselves, as
Of
they
course.
often did.
Were there any clowns that were part of the Orange Order? I imagine not, because they were traveling, but you never know.
As far as I know, no, but maybe.
There's like one guy. He's just like living in all 3 worlds. He's actually like a secret firefighter on the side and clown.
Wow. This is quite the fanfic that we're building.
He's a double agent, triple double agent. I don't know.
Accidentally leaves on his clown nose when he's going to work as a firefighter. Has to stuff in his pocket real quick.
They're like,
What was that?
What was that? Okay.
nothing.
Tomato. I was having a snack.
Yeah.
Between 1839 and 1866, the Orange Order was involved in 29 riots in the city of Toronto due to their strong ties to many other groups and industries at the time, including the police and local fire companies, as we've previously discussed.
You can't be in that many altercations. There's no chance you're the good guy.
Yeah.
You can't get in that many altercations and be a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're definitely causing this stuff.
When the case of the firemen's riot was brought to court, that was the original one where the house was burnt to the ground. The firemen being charged with assault, the police were called in to give their testimony and very deliberately gave false testimony, to no one's surprise. This allowed for the case to be dismissed and all the charges to be dropped. This silent agreement was not lost on the greater Toronto community at all. People knew exactly what was going on between the cops and the firefighters and the Orange Order and all of these other power groups. The day after the Clown Riot, a mob of Orangemen showed up to the place where the circus was set up, a place called the Fair Green,
Oh, no.
which is a large grassy space along the waterfront of Lake Ontario.
Kind of a warriors come out and play situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this was also located nearby to the local market. So the farmers and the merchants that were set up there for the day were given a tip to like clear out. They were like, hey, we're
Well,
going to
that's
start
good.
some shit. Get out of here.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
You're going to want to bounce.
Yeah. Shortly after that, the Orangemen began throwing stones, bottles, and whatever else they could find at the clowns.
Duckville, bottle kid!
How do you like me now, hamburger?
The circus folks did hold their own
Of course they did. They're circus folk.
up until the Hook and Ladder Company from the previous night's tussle arrived.
I can't believe this is the next day.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Well, and they're all hungover and shit too. They're all beat up.
Like, take a break. One day, at least. Have a buffer.
They didn't
you know?
have any time because the clowns were going to leave that
Oh,
next
right.
day.
They were going to, yeah.
So
they
it
were
had to
gonna go
happen
on
now or
next.
never.
Mm.
So the hook and ladder company showed up and they started tearing down the circus tents with their fire hooks and ironically set fire to them.
Poetic, really. Okay, who won? Not the clowns if their tents burned
They
down.
tipped over the hook and ladder company also tipped over the circus wagons and they really brutally beat the shit out of these circus folk. A few of them were able to escape into the nearby water. They like dove into the water and like swam away.
That's so scary.
I know.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Having like big ass fucking
your tent's getting
just...
burned down. You're just getting beat up by the Orangemen and by firefighters.
And your only crime was being more wanted by women. You know?
The game too strong.
Too strong. Clowns got it going on. People don't know. There's like a whole like thing about that, you know?
They got the Riz.
They got the Riz. Honk honk.
I wouldn't know, but sure. The thing that like stopped this, it's hard to even call it a fight. It was truly like an assault on the clowns, on the circus.
Well, and it's not just clowns there. It's a whole circus. So there's like presumably...
There's animals. There's other types of performers.
There's tons of
acrobats probably.
Beings that are absolutely innocent to this and shouldn't have to be getting their ass whipped.
So the thing that did stop this was the mayor showed up.
Gotcha.
He showed up and was all, guys.
Yep.
And he wagged his finger. He did actually have to physically pry an axe from the hands of a fireman who was getting ready to kill one of the clowns with it.
That is actually insane.
Like the clown posse.
Who are also axe-wielding murderers. Or hatchets? I don't know.
So the fight did begin to settle after this, thankfully, and no fatalities were reported despite the extensive damage. However, the extent of the circus folks' injuries is unknown since obviously they had no incentive to report anything to the Orangemen entrenched police.
Right.
So we don't really know how they fared.
Yeah, you literally like can't do anything. That's so corrupt. It's messed up.
Yeah. The circus licked their wounds and they quickly left town. They packed up as fast as they could and got the fuck out of there.
I hope for the most part they're okay.
This resulted in 17 cases against the firemen.
Yeah.
Obviously. But it only totaled out to one conviction. Again, to no one's surprise.
Yeah.
Once again, the police conveniently couldn't remember any of the firemen involved in the attacks.
Except the one guy who wasn't an Orangeman.
Rob was there that day.
Just the one guy who wasn't an Orangeman. They're like, oh, we can throw Fred under the bus.
Yeah. It may have been the guy with the hatchet. I don't know.
You know, it's a pretty good contender, I suppose.
As I kind of alluded to at the top of this episode, there were some greater impacts that resulted from this. Ultimately, the corruption became so obvious as a result of this that people started to push back. Inquiries were made about this case.
Yeah.
And the whole situation led the province of Ontario to create a provincial board that reconfigured the way that both the fire departments and police services were run.
Good.
It led to the entire dismissal of the local police force. That being said, they did rehire some guys back.
Of course they did. They always do.
They always do.
Yeah, it's like, what do? You just rebuild from the same old pool.
Sure. But they did at least wipe the slate clean, in theory.
It's like, how clean is it if you wipe a clean slate with dirty towels?
But there was a larger systemic shift toward more community-focused police efforts following this. So it was a little bit less obvious. They created a social shift so significant that by the early 20th century, Toronto became so well known for its rigorous moral code that it was referred to as Toronto the Good. Would I classify this as truly fixing the problem? Probably not. However, I think comparatively to how openly corrupt everything was, it seems that the people of Toronto were really happy with how much things had turned around following this reform.
Well, yeah, it seems like things had hit the tipping point. It's so bananas to me that like one night you have the cops and firefighters beating the crap out of each other, and then like the next night you have the cops standing up for the firefighters as they beat the crap out of clowns. You know, like,
yeah.
What a bonkers ass place to live.
So the cops weren't the ones throwing stones necessarily. It was like
No,
orange
but they
men.
protected the firefighters.
They didn't
who-
stop anything.
Right. They protected them.
So that's all that I have on that. There were some more details and stuff. I didn't take as detailed notes for this topic, but that's kind of the gist of it. I do have some reviews.
Okay.
But before we get into that, do you have any other questions or comments?
So many comments. A lot of questions. I don't really know where to start. Listen, I think our takeaway message is if you have an orange problem, you need to riot. And it's probably going to involve some clowns.
Yes. Got him.
Got him. Silly
Canadians, if any Canadians might ever listen to this episode, weigh in. How do you feel about
You're American.
How do you feel about being referred to as an American?
Because you are.
Technically speaking, you are.
Not technically, but also you just are an
Do you
American.
hate it? Does it just boil your blood? I need to know.
Does it shiver your timbers?
Does it shiver your timbers?
Does it honk your clown nose? Honk, honk.
Okay. And with that, I pulled some reviews from the many Toronto fire stations. I will say, on the whole, excellent reviews of all of these. The general consensus is that the fire departments there are like very friendly, very open. If you show up with like your kid and you're like, hey, my kid loves fire trucks, can they have a tour or whatever? They are more than happy to like do whatever and give out stickers and just tons and tons of very positive reviews about all of these. I did pull some ones that I found to be kind of silly. So this is a review of the Toronto Fire and Marine Station 334. 3 stars. Mommy, etc. is the name of the person. They're a local guide. This was a review posted 1 month ago.
All right, mommy, tell me what it is.
Some things go bizarro, period.
Wait, is this a review of the clowns?
Nope, this is a review of the local fire station.
It's a very weird way to describe a fire station. Bizarro. That's how you describe a clown.
Yes.
Did a clown write this? Corruption. A clown wrote the bad reviews.
That's the etc. part of mommy, etc.
Mommy and clowns. Yeah.
Okay. Some things go bizarro, period. Big, long, wide space. New paragraph. I think we're supposed to get training together. Ellipses. And then a typed out like colon dash and then backslash. So it's like a
Face.
Face.
Okay, sure.
and then new paragraph. Ellipses. New paragraph. I am depressed, period. New paragraph. Same face. Face.
So a clown did write this.
And then new paragraph. So, yeah, passed by a few times, cannot be satisfied or not. Have you been harassed/attacked too? I'm T looks like it from period the outside.
What
End
is
of
this
reveal.
like a weird talk to text? I don't understand what happened.
I have no idea what this review
3
means.
stars.
I have no idea what this review means.
3 stars. Maybe it's like a message from the Illuminati.
This feels like a sleeper agent activation code.
Yeah, like Canadian American Ultra.
I hope that this person's okay. I don't know.
I hope so too.
Okay. On to the next.
They put their clown nose back on and they're all got him.
Do you want to read your review real quick before I read a couple more?
I'll read one. This is a review of Cirque du Soleil, which in general Cirque du Soleil it's got 4 stars.
Okay.
So not the best, but not bad. And there are other carnival, circus, performance clowns in the area. There are actually individual clowns. This is something I found. There are individual clowns listed by name.
Cool.
And they have like 5 stars.
Nice.
So there are a lot of clowns in the area that are like, people really like this clown specifically.
That's
Right.
cool.
So this review is Cirque du Soleil in that region. And it's 2 stars. Acrobats, good, period.
Mhm.
Clowns, horrible.
Oh.
I can't read their name because it's cropped funny. The short and sweet of this review is that the clowns, they put in quotes, and music were loud, annoying, and in my opinion, dumb.
Rude.
I did not find them funny, and their constant screeching and yelling unintelligibly was grating. For me, it ruined the gymnasts and the acrobats. I understand the need for a distraction while they change costumes and sets, but this show is not up to Cirque standards. The only Cirque I had seen was Cavalia with the horses.
What are they, a Cirque critic?
I guess. It was the most amazing and beautifully choreographed show I had ever seen. The music was also wonderful. It made this show seem like a very high priced circus show, and I was glad I didn't have to spend the money for my ticket. I got it through work. So it was free anyway.
So they still had the audacity to complain.
So here's the thing. This particular review is kind of old, but I thought it was funny.
How old is it?
This is 2013.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
there are lots of reviews that are newer,
Mhm.
and I want to say, like, although I didn't save them because they got lost somewhere, this particular review is on TripAdvisor. There are lots of reviews elsewhere about Cirque du Soleil in this region, and the word screeching comes up a lot when referring to the clowns.
No.
So I don't know what you're doing, clowns, but knock it off.
Oh my God.
So screeching comes up. A ton of these reviews are people who were going, I've been to other Cirque shows and this one sucked.
The fact that they're just calling it Cirque is really
Yeah. A little pretentious.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But like, yeah, it's, I don't know. It was just funny, the commonality of people who are like, if you're reviewing a circus, you're obviously somebody who just goes to circuses. You like being sticky and hot.
I've never been to a circus, so I actually don't know.
I have. I've been to the circus where there was like elephants and lion tamers and stuff like that. It was
Mhm.
mostly kind of cool.
Mhm.
When I was a little kid, you know,
Mhm.
watching the elephants climb each other was pretty wild.
Elephants climb each other?
Yeah, like stand on each other's backs and stuff. You wouldn't think
Oh.
they'd be able to do that. They're very strong.
I don't think that's supposed
I
to
don't think
happen.
they do that anymore.
I hope not, because that sounds like it would probably hurt the bottom elephant a lot.
Yeah. Well, I remember they were different sizes too, but like I
Still.
remember at one point I think it was in Montana, but one of the elephants did break free and trample a bunch of people.
Oh.
So it's like, yeah, obviously the animals don't like it, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say.
So like that was in the news like a few days later.
Jeez.
Luckily that didn't happen while I was there, but also I feel really bad for the people that did happen to, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, clowns screechy at Cirque du Soleil in the Ontario, Canada region.
Fascinating. I would like to hear another one of those if you can find one. Okay. This is a review of the Toronto Fire Station 435. 1 star by Ashley, 6 years ago. This station makes so much noise in the morning. They almost always wake me up either from idling their trucks or testing out the jaws of life at 7:30 a.m. I get that you guys help people, but can you try to be more considerate to your neighbors?
They're like saving somebody's life.
Neighbors spelled with a U, by the way. I thought that was interesting.
Neighbor. Oh,
Neighbors.
it's the old spelling.
Mhm.
We don't do that. We talked about this. It's too expensive. We can't
It's too
afford
expensive.
that
There's
extra
one
letter.
thing about U.S. citizens, it's that we
Well,
can't afford the U.
We're broke. Yeah, we're just S citizens now, okay? And you know what? It won't be long before we're just citizens. All right, I got another review.
Okay.
This is 3 stars from Bob M. This is 2019.
Okay.
A little bit more recent. Title, Fire the Clowns, period.
Oh,
3 stars. Fire the Clowns. The talented gymnasts risk their lives in awesome show. But the stupid, irritating clowns seriously distract and almost ruin the show. With all the negative reviews, why keep them?
damn.
Thanks.
End of review.
End of review. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Thanks for the note.
Good grief. What is up with these clowns?
They're screechy.
They're too screechy.
Are you sure those aren't owls? Like, what's happening?
God bless. Okay. This is a review of Toronto Fire Station 315, 5 stars, by Wayne Russell, 2 years ago. Wayne says, I remember 20 plus years ago that chair on the roof, kids playing across the street in front of the church late at night. This is all one continuous sentence, by the way, no punctuation.
Jeez.
Yeah. Late at night, the bell rings, the firemen dash outside to see the commotion. Kids showed how the can ring it with their thought. Someone was on holiday days. That day, they said he would love to see. I got vision of firemen playing basketball in the yard out front without disturbing the land night sky like magic game of hoops in the sky. New paragraph. The kid showed something that no one can believe. New paragraph. Not sure, but think it was smoking chair. End of review.
Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that.
I'm pretty sure I could have randomly written down 70 words and it would have made more sense than that.
This is a bit of a monkey at the typewriter situation.
Wayne, are you okay?
Wayne, are you feeling all right, bud?
Listen, I'm not judging anybody's spelling or punctuation, but this didn't feel like a coherent thought to me. I'm just saying. All right, you got something else?
What is there's like a thing about clowns. There's like eggs that they paint. You know about that? So I don't know if you knew about this, but when you go to clown college, there's like a whole thing where there's like a museum or some kind of thing. It's like a rite of passage. When you graduate from clown college, you paint an eggshell with your face paint, and it gets like put up with all the other eggs. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, we should look that up and maybe put that up somewhere.
Yeah.
I forget if that's like, I don't know if that's just one school that does that or if that's like a thing that all clowns do, but I do remember hearing about that at one point.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.